Hey guys, we're here today at Hardracing doing the new Yoshimura full stainless steel system with carbon canister and carbon end cap. This exhaust is really lightweight. It sounds amazing. It looks fantastic. It's a great quality, top-notch system. There's a lot of them out there on the market right now, but for us, Yoshi's been around doing this stuff forever, and this thing just looks and sounds amazing. Nice thing about it, it's full carbon can, so if you do happen to touch it with your leg, you're not going to burn yourself like you do with most metal cans. So that's a nice extra advantage to it. The fit and finish on it's top-notch quality. It's super easy to install. And from what we were reading, it's going to take about 5 or 10 minutes. So this should be a pretty quick and easy video. So we'll start that now.
Alright, so what we're going to do first is we are going to take off these two bolts. We've got another one right here. We've got a bolt right here, and then the very last one is right here on the back. And all of them are 12 millimeter, so really easy and simple. Alright, so the very last one, what you're going to have to do is you're going to need a 12 millimeter socket and a 12 millimeter wrench. This goes on the back, this will go on the front. Okay, so the only way to remove this exhaust is to loosen up this clamp and take the muffler off first, and that's what we're going to do right now. Now that we have the clamp loose, we're going to remove the muffler first. Just want to wiggle it a little bit and it comes right off. Muffler gone. Next, we take off the stock header. Completed. Okay, so check this out. We just weighed the stock exhaust, and it weighs just a little over 12 pounds. Now we just compared it to our Yoshi full system, and it weighs just in 4 pounds. That is an 8 pounds weight savings, which is huge for this bike. Okay, so what you want to do next is take your hardware kit, open it up like we have here, grab the rubber grommet, and you're going to install it on the header on the frame bracket. Okay, so now that we've got our rubber grommet in, we're going to take the aluminum spacer that was included in the hardware kit also, and you want to put it in the rubber grommet from the back, just like so. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is install the header. And all you want to do at this point is just to hand tighten the nuts. Okay, so there's 2 bolts left in our hardware kit. You got a shorter one and you got the longer one. We're going to take the shorter one and we're going to put the washer on the shorter bolt and mount the header to the bracket, frame bracket. And remember, hand tighten. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is install the canister. One neat little thing that we've learned over the years is to install Teflon tape on the header. It will prevent the exhaust from leaking. Same thing as plumber's tape, what you wrap your pipes in. It can withstand a high amount of heat. Your headers don't put out nearly as much heat. So you should be just fine. Wrap it once or twice. And then line your canister up and very carefully work it onto the header. Okay, so now that we've got the canister mounted up on the header, we're going to take the remaining bolt in your hardware kit, which is the longer bolt. We're going to take this black spacer and we're going to take this nut. And what you want to do is take the black spacer, put it in between the canister and the frame. Then you want to take your long bolt, put it into that spacer, and the nut, thread it onto that bolt on the back side. Okay, so now what you're going to do is take this spring and you're going to put it back onto the exhaust. You've got a nice puller that came with your hardware kit as well. So what you want to do is put it into the bottom tab. The spring on the bottom tab. You might drop it a couple times, but just be patient. Okay, so mine's on the bottom tab, and what you want to do, take your spring puller and just pull it up. And now you've got your spring mounted onto those 2 tabs. Okay, so now what we're going to do, take just a regular socket and tighten each of the bolts that we hand tightened. Now it's really important on the header bolts and header nuts, what you want to do is alternate. Do not tighten one side first and then go back and tighten the other side. It's not good for it. So just alternate a little bit at a time until you tighten those. And then once you get all the bolts tightened, then we're going to torque them down. Okay, and like I just said, alternate as you crank these. Okay guys, so now that you've torqued down all the bolts, what you want to do is make sure that everything, there's no clearance issues. So kind of run your hands down the length of the exhaust, make sure it's not touching anything. And as long as everything looks good, we don't have any clearance issues here. Now it's time to fire it up.